and I am not sure yet. Let me see.
What happened?
Let me see.
Oh!
What happened?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, Vera.
What?
Here we are. Let's see. I have a feeling that
We're not on yet?
let's see. We're going to find out in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. All right. I believe we are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see here now.
Moink.
All right.
Moink.
We are here, and today,
Hi, Purple Blaze.
we are going to be talking about a really amazing story. It has to do with a content creator on YouTube. But before we get into that, Vera, did you want to start us off with the first thing in the morning?
Oh, I just saw this and I thought it was really cool. What was your thought the first thing that you woke up this morning? What was the first thing you thought of?
Okay. The first thing that I thought of was I was in and out of dream state. I was half in, half there, and I heard your voice. You were talking to me, and you told me something really useful in our daily life, and I cannot for the life of me remember what
So
it
that's
was.
what it was?
But that's what's my first thought.
My goodness.
How about you?
Well, do you really want to know?
Now we do.
You guys,
hi, Nana.
In the comments, write what your first thought was when you woke up this morning.
Yeah, we'd like
Mine
to
was,
hear.
damn, I'm still alive.
That reminds me of what you always say from Scrooged. I'm alive and so are you.
So let's see what everybody was thinking when they first woke up. Hi, everybody.
Maybe Nana was hearing the
coronation. I watched
horses
that too.
and everything outside the. Not that you're right there in London, but yeah, we were watching that this morning.
Purple Blaze, morning already. Nana, breakfast.
Oh,
I should have thought of your kitty. Yeah, well, your kitty's always with you still. So
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing. Our pets are there for us when we go home to the other side.
Yeah,
and so
exactly. And they come visit.
Exactly, in dream time. So
yeah,
that's a comfort.
Aloha.
Flowers. All right. So now, Vera, are you ready to talk about our amazing subject? So we're going to do something a little bit different today, you guys. Usually we talk about the person in their lifetime now first, but this time we're going to be talking about his past life because a lot of us know about this person in his past life. So Vera, you want to start us off?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so we're talking about Mike, and he's the guy that you said was on That Chapter.
Yes, on YouTube, his channel name is That Chapter. And what he does in his shows is he talks about, he walks us through mostly our unsolved murder stories. Yeah.
He's so cute.
He is.
We love you, Mike.
He's he's in Ireland. He has
He's born in Ireland.
Yes. And so it's captivating true crime storytellers, storytelling on the internet is what he does. And
I'm so hoping that Nostradamus was correct.
He does extensive research and he highlights the victims of chilling crime cases, some of which, like I was just saying, remain unsolved. So, hi, Sammy.
Hi, Sammy.
Oh, I like all the little emojis.
Yeah.
Cactus.
Yeah. So what I got, we'll just dive in.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Because I didn't even have to think about it. The first thing that popped in my head was...
This is amazing.
Okay, because we know that Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson are fiction.
Right.
But it was written by Sir Conan Doyle.
Exactly. Okay. Arthur Conan Doyle.
I think there's another one in there.
It's Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle, really, but but yes, he was a physician and the writer.
So that's who I pick up. Moink is.
That's amazing. Yeah. I find that amazing. So we have some backstory to talk about this gentleman. So he was, a British writer and physician. And he created, like you just said, Vera, Sherlock Holmes. In 1887, his first book on Sherlock Holmes took him 3 weeks to write. And he was only 27 years old. Kind of reminds me of in this life because he's very young, well, to me, in his 20s. And so it was the first of 4 novels and 56 short stories about Holmes and Watson. And at the time, these stories were like milestones in the field of crime. And
Mike is really into the forensics of when he talks about the people on the show that he has or that he's showing us.
Right.
Yeah.
Like how they're like when all the evidence is when they're saying that it's showing like this person, like let's say killed themselves, but then he really gets into, but the angle of the hand couldn't have done that.
It started
that
then, really, because there, I think the beginnings of forensics started because of his professor too.
Exactly. So, the author, not Bell, but Doyle. So when he went to a medical facility, he was a student there. Joseph Bell and Henry Littlejohn were leading figures in this medical facility. And both of them together were Doyle's inspiration for Sherlock. It's pretty amazing, actually. So Doyle became Dr. Bell's outpatient clerk after only 2 years because Bell considered him his best student that he ever had. And Dr. Bell used methods of observation and deduction on his patients, and Doyle was very impressed by his teacher's methods. So they, like Vera just said, these 2 gentlemen were pioneers in forensics science. And they were working at the time. It was pretty amazing because in 1893, there was this huge case, and it was unprecedented like any other at the time. It was of a 20-year-old young man who did not return from a hunt. And it just happened to be the same year that Doyle wrote his last book about Sherlock Holmes. So it's really interesting.
And it's interesting, too, that Sherlock was not his favorite book that he wrote.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But the public,
most famous.
The public loved it. Yeah. So it was a real life murder trial that was playing out in Scotland, which was a sensation at the time. And it cast a light on the extraordinary genius of Sherlock Holmes. Okay, so backstory. This murder mystery that was going on there was a private tutor by the name of Munson, and he was on trial for the murder of his student. He was a handsome young man, an army lieutenant. He was only 17 years old, and he went to go live with Munson, I guess his name is, and his family. So when he was 20, they went out on this hunt, and he never came back. Well, at the time, they buried him. It was called an accident. It was a local doctor said, "Oh no, it was just an accident." But then these 2 gentlemen, these 2 doctors, Littlejohn and Bell, they were there, and it was like they had so much incredible deduction and observation, and they brought this into the courtroom. They actually exhumed the body to show that it was not an accident. It was a shotgun blast to the head and all this. And then they come to find out that Munson and his wife had taken out life insurance policy on this young man.
See, it would happen way back then.
Right, exactly. So it was like a really big deal. And the point that we wanted to bring up to you is that at the time, it like really highlighted the geniusness of Sherlock Holmes. I mean, all the public was crazy about, the books and everything.
Because that's who Bell was the inspiration for, Sherlock, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that was his professor, and everybody really loved his professor. I mean, the people that studied under him.
Yes. So Bell had an extraordinary gift for establishing the symptoms and backstories of patients simply by close observation of the subtlest non-verbal signals. That reminds me of body language now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He could tell a man's profession from his walk, whether he had served in the military by the way he wore his hat, and where he lived from the state of his shoes. So it, like, if you even see his features, people say that the character is modeled after him physically as well. Now, his friend, Little John, was the country's leading forensic expert. He was the official police surgeon and was the first port of call for the police wherever there was a suspicious death. Does that sound like Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah, exactly.
And he was a virtual ever present at the major murder scenes in Scotland throughout the second half of the 19th century. What else do you want to tell them about them?
Well, who was his inspiration for Watson? I know there's a lot of speculation on what different people think about who was the inspiration for Watson, but I think it was Doyle.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, because he's so into and he was a physician. He was psychic. So he utilized that part for his, whenever he was doing his doctorly things.
Exactly.
He utilized that part of his brain as well, not just the scientific. And that's sometimes where he had a little bit of a problem, because the books and science are saying one thing and he's thinking or feeling something different.
Right. It is kind of amazing too, because I mean, when he was studying under Bell, Bell had all these students in this room, and they would bring in the patient or the body or what have you, and he would, well, the patient, and he would address them as Watsons, you know, that kind of thing. And so it was,
because there was all of their brain power.
Yeah. So he was explaining to them, this is how I can tell this. This is, you know, all this information he could just lay out just from observing.
Yeah.
And so naturally it just makes so much sense. Here he is, Doyle, the author, is taking in this information and is like, it'd be Watson on his journey
to see to hear if Mike has any kind of, if he believes in spiritualism and that kind of stuff,
right?
You know, and utilizes that as well.
Yes, exactly. What else do we want to tell them?
Because he was really kind of ostracized at one point, because of that fairy situation.
Right.
I brought it up too soon. But anyway, he believed that these two girls, and it was in England, I believe, saw, or it could have been in Scotland too, I can't remember, where these little girls saw fairies, and they took a picture and they got the fairies on the picture.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so everybody's going, oh, this is a hoax. This is BS. They even had one guy that went technically into it and said this is bogus kind of thing. And Conan Doyle was saying, no, it's real. It's real. It's real. It's real. And he was even ostracized by spiritual people.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and he stuck to his guns.
Wow.
So I'm wondering if Mike is like that.
Yeah.
You guys have to watch that show. It's really
good.
It's
pretty amazing. Mike's belief in, I should say Doyle, because in his past life, he had long-standing interest in the mystical subjects.
I want to see the picture, Trexler, of the fairies first before we go further, so that way we can see it.
Okay, let's take a look. Okay.
And talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah. Let's find it.
Do we have it?
I believe she's looking.
There
it is. All right.
There it is.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow. Because, I mean, it's fascinating because our analytical minds.
I know we're going, that's not real.
Our analytical minds are going to want to reason things away. But we have found, the other side has told us that nothing that we can think up with our human mind does not, it exists somewhere within
At
God,
some point,
right? And so there is other levels of being where fairies do actually exist.
Yeah. And it might not be that, but
yeah, it might not be that particular image, but yes,
Exactly.
that makes
And
sense.
he also would go to seances.
Yes,
So we have a picture of that too.
Yeah, he attended.
And someone took a picture, and that's what they got.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
You could see that female in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he attended 20 seances, experiments in telepathy.
I believe fairies are real.
Sittings with mediums.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And writing to spiritual journal Light that year, he declared himself to be a spiritualist. In 1887, he was initiated as a Freemason.
Mm-hmm. So he was all into that stuff.
Mm-hmm, he was. And he was a member of the renowned supernaturalist organization, the Ghost Club.
Yeah,
that's kind of a cool.
And he did the Crimes Club too.
Yes, he did.
He was a busy man, I tell you.
Yeah, he was. Oh, it's fascinating. Yeah, he was. But it was just so fascinating what he promoted through his writing. And it was based on these real gentlemen.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah. So through that whole they called it like a spectacle of what happened with this court case playing out. It was like a master class in the evolution of forensics into the scientific discipline that we recognize today.
Did.
So
yeah,
very fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. I find it fascinating that Mike, in that life, that's what Doyle was doing. He was bringing this to light. And in this lifetime, it's like, that's where his interest is.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking in my head because I'm thinking about what Roxanne said, that she had seen a fairy. You did see a fairy. And I'm thinking there's lots of fairies in Hawaii.
The water and the tropics and that's fascinating. Yeah. It's interesting because there's different places on the planet that are more
here
prone.
In Dublin.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have a Dublin, California. And then there, of course, there's Dublin, Ireland, which is kind of ironic because that's where Mike happens to live in Ireland. Right. But there's different places on the planet where there are a thinner veil and people will see different things like the fairies, or there's also places in Britain where they've heard angels singing and they've seen them like 3 feet off the ground, which on the other side is overlaid on our planet, but it happens to be 3 feet above where we are. So that's why a lot of times we'll see these apparitions that are floating, but they're really on the other side.
Yeah. And Andrea, you should do a
super chat question.
Yes.
By the way, we do have super chat. If any of you have had an experience, or if you have a past life question and you want to ask Vera, we do have super chat that you can ask your questions through. So I should have said that in the beginning.
Yeah. And it's cool because Mike, his soul number or life path number, I should say, is 9. And that's the highest vibration you could have.
The spiritual.
Very spiritual. And his life path for the year is a 6. So that's pretty cool too. And 6 is what? Creation.
Yes.
Yeah. That kind of stuff. Relationships, family, anything that you want to create during this year for him, it will be successful.
Oh, that's
because of the
exciting.
life path. Yeah.
Okay, so I have to tell you guys one more thing. This is so funny. In 1893, when he was leading up to it, when he was going to kill off his character Sherlock Holmes, because he was tired of writing about him, he wanted to do historical pieces, books, and things like that. Well, he wrote his mom, and he said, "Look, I'm planning I'm planning to write him off." And she tells him, she responded, "You won't, you can't, you mustn't." But he did, and there was he wrote this book. It came out in, like I said, 1893, where how do you say his name? Moriarty. I don't know. I cannot say his name.
Okay.
That's Sherlock Holmes' enemy, and they basically they both died together. Yeah. And there was a public outcry. Everybody was
they were
really upset. I mean, people were even wearing black clothes.
And he became the highest paid author because
they had him come back finally to write more books, because
the publishing company said you have to bring him back, and he's like, okay, give me this much money,
because he didn't.
And he put it astronomical, and he got it.
Yeah. So he came back, and lo and behold, more Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
But I think it's fascinating because it's like it brings light to really like what he's doing in this lifetime.
Yeah.
He brings light to all these cases and so forth. And really it's you know, it's interesting too, because at the end of his story, he's always telling people, take care of yourself and each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I wanted to ask Vera, what do you feel his life theme is?
in that lifetime, it was activist.
Activist.
In the Doyle, you mean? As a Doyle? Yeah.
So that's interesting. And guess what? I actually have the themes here. So,
okay.
So let's read activist theme. And if you don't know what your theme is, or you can guess what you think your theme is. And Vera, what are our life themes? You going to tell?
It's just influences, energy that kind of floats above our life chart that we have to experience in that in our lifetime.
Yeah, it's so fascinating because
it colors it, it flavors it.
Right. Yes. I like that. It's this theme that we have of our life, and it might not always be the same in every lifetime, but we also have a master theme that sometimes we will have over every lifetime.
Exactly.
So
I like that, Nana. That's awesome. Angels have bird wings so they can fly up between two worlds, and fairies have butterfly wings so they can flutter on earth. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, both are spirits. One is heavenly and one is spiritually.
Well, they kind of both are, but yes.
I like that. Okay. Activist theme. Here we go now. All right. Holy cow. That's tiny. All right. Activator. The person who carries the theme of activator is almost self-explanatory, like the counterpart theme of responsibility. They want to pick up the loose ends for everyone, but they are driven to do the most menial as well as the most astronomical task. They can be the daredevils, also in their need to do anything and everything anyone else fails to do. Okay, there's more. This is the key for the activator. Someone else must have had to try it first before they do it, and they usually do it with gusto and they do it right. Activators are the entities who come in after a business or commitments have failed and pull it up and to be a successful conclusion as well. The activist feels compelled to speak up at meetings or groups or even within the family and start arranging everything. They also have a tendency to be a workaholic, and if they are not careful, they can take everyone else's job and do it well.
He could pretty much do that. Doyle.
Yeah, but that's interesting, isn't it? Because it's just so now. Does he have
his secondary is rejection? Doyle, yeah.
Really? That's interesting. Now, does he have the same themes in this lifetime?
And Doyle's life, you mean? And then in this lifetime, no, I think it's a little different. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Activist. So he was activating to help bring a spotlight to crime, maybe?
That, and and also I believe he did something for the war, because he started some club because they lost the war because men weren't able to shoot correctly. So he tried to help, because so many people died in that war. I can't remember the name of the war, but yeah. So he started a rifle club or something.
Yeah, he
so
did.
That they can practice, and he had a range and all that stuff.
See, isn't that great? They said he was a patriot.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so let's put the themes away. I was so curious. Like I was wondering if his theme would be justice because of
you would think, but in Mike's lifetime, it's justice.
See, that makes so much sense because he wants to bring
Mike.
He wants to bring justice by bringing light to situations. And I find it fascinating because in that lifetime, he was able to reach a mass of people through his books and captivating, really.
Yeah, and that's weird because then tolerance is the other one.
So that would mean he's intolerant of injustice, perhaps. So this is a really good example.
Or you could be intolerant of tolerance.
This is a really great example that Vera just gave of our primary theme and then our secondary theme rubs against it.
Oh, 11 is good, Nana.
If you have an idea, Soul Tribe, of what your theme might be, whether it's a primary or a secondary, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
And so how a theme rubs against it would be like, say, somebody might have a primary theme of artist, and then they might have a secondary theme of rejection. So when that happens, guess what? They get rejected as an artist over and over. Or sometimes they reject themselves, right?
Yeah,
Before they even have a
exactly.
chance to find that success. Did you find something
So
you
it
wanted
was
to share?
Andrea or Andrea said that hers is a 7, and that's inquisitive and intellectual. They're introverted, but not fond of social settings, which could be an obstacle in romantic relationships. But they want experience.
Does that sound about right, Lori?
No, that's not Lori. It's Andrea.
Oh, Andrea. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
My life path is 7. I almost said 4 because I'm thinking of my life path is 4. I know yours is 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Lord knows why.
All right. Let's see now.
11, intuition and maximize their emotional awareness of the world around them. It brings confidence but also worry. So you have to, that's the rub, I guess you could say. But your struggle with trusting and sharpening their unique skills. But you overcome that being able to channel your intuition. So I like that. That's Nana. Okay.
And then Purple Blaze is asking, how do you find your life path number?
You have to add up your birthday.
Okay.
I think, or is that just look up numerology.
All right. Let's see now.
To a single digit. But if you have an 11 or a 12, those are high numbers. So you can have actually both. Like Nana would have 11 plus 2 life number.
I see. So she could pick.
Oh, Purple Blaze, you're an 8 like me.
Oh, that's neat. Very, very cool. So we have all these things. We have a theme. We have a gift, which is interesting because here Mike has, Doyle in his past life, he has this theme, but then our theme doesn't necessarily mean that that's our purpose. It's woven throughout, but our gift is what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for example, Angus was saying in a trance that your master theme is actually healing.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I find it fascinating because your gift is like giving people information.
Yeah.
But it's healing. So that's cool. See how it goes together.
Yeah. You can heal with words, very much so.
Even artists, they can heal through their music, through their singing. There's many different ways how our purpose is like our theme, but then we also have our gift.
Right.
Okay, what else do we have?
It doesn't necessarily go up or down. It's just different because the numbers will be different. And what you want to experience in that lifetime as well. Your life chart.
Okay, let's see now. Yes. So I just wanted to add that if I was going to tell Mike about his angel, it would be the Raphael Archangel.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. Now, as you can see, Raphael, he has a staff of strength. And it's really, really amazing because, Vera, do you remember this trance when you talked about the staff of strength and how it had that beautiful blue crystal?
Yes.
And then this blade pops out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people see the blade and they think, oh, no, I don't want that because I
know
want to,
it's violent.
like it's hurt. But
it's not.
It's meant to protect.
Yeah.
And really, that's what Mike giving this information and telling people at the end of every show to take care of themselves. It's meant as a protection. And that's exactly what Raphael does, is he protects us and he also brings light. And this is just like the perfect angel that stands to the forefront for Mike, right? Because of bringing light, it's illuminating what is, it's illuminating the truth is what I'm trying to say. And that's perfectly what a show does.
Yeah.
Because even though it's unsolved, he lays it out for us.
Yeah, exactly. So Roxanne has a super chat question.
Okay.
And can we be different themes in one lifetime? Yes, especially when it's your last life. Because once you utilize the one that you came in with and learn from it and you don't need it anymore, then you adopt another one that you can learn from, because we're in the constant state of learning in this life. So the way that you had to behave differently and your themes all go together with your life chart. So when we're on the other side, we know exactly what we're going to be experiencing, so to speak, because we still have to come down here and do it. It's going to be our most, I guess you could say, confident self on the other side doing it. And then we come into life and we're like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
We come in with that, amnesia kind of thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, once you've utilized and learned your original life theme for this lifetime, you pick up another one.
See, I love
so
that.
Last lifers do a lot of that.
Yeah, and it's so fascinating because it's the same way with like our totem animals. Because before, a lot of us believed that we had one totem animal to last throughout our whole lifetime. But as it turns out, whatever we need during that phase of our life, it could be a period that begins, we need a different type of totem animal energy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
Because once you learn it, it's like you just don't say, okay, well, I've learned it, I'm good.
Right.
There's other things that you want to learn.
Life is never like that, right? Yeah. There's always more to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was just going to add one more thing about this angel that I wanted to tell you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show him real quick.
And Roxanne, you're ready to do another life theme because you've already learned the other one.
Oh, that's so cool.
The one that she just redid. So she's on her like third or fourth life theme.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's really
different
neat.
Yeah, in this life, because it's her last life.
That's awesome. Well, all I was going to say real quick is that one of the things that this archangel does, his function is hope. And I just thought it was amazing how this soul, Doyle / Mike, is he helps us to do that actually. And that's why I wanted to show this angel for him, is because we might not always be able to avoid this darkness, things that happen in our life, but illuminating the truth can help us to overcome it.
Exactly.
And that's why that's the angel that I wanted to highlight for him. I think that's really fascinating about what you said about Roxanne's theme.
She's just piling them in, getting them done. Get her done.
That's great. I wish it is my last life. And
how do you know it's not?
All right, Vera, we would love to hear about the moon energy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because we've had what was last week? Solar eclipse with a new moon. Now we have an eclipse with a full moon. So, and that was yesterday and today, I guess.
Okay.
So, and it's all about feelings. Oh my gosh, I've gotten so many texts and emails from clients and it's all about feelings and how you're doing and other people's feelings. It's just,
oh, wow.
So as they come up, we consciously have to really consider them, look at them, taste it, feel it, and then decide whether we want to let it go because it's no use to us anymore, or keep it because it brings us strength.
I see.
So sometimes when things pop up, it's like, oh, I don't want to look at that because it's too hard, but then you're missing the opportunity to keep it. So, and then know that it's a strength, then, just keeping negative ones that you really don't need anymore and letting them go. So that's a good thing. So,
wow.
Yeah. So the affirmation that I saw from Louise Hay was really good for this, because the affirmation is, I now go beyond other people's fears and limitations. That's from Louise Hay.
Oh, wow.
So what would your affirmation be? And you can put it in the comments about this full moon's energy, about feelings and things like that. Because the one like mine's, I kind of used hers too, but I believe in me and go beyond others' opinions of myself.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So what would you guys say to help, figure that out? that we can keep that affirmation going so that we can keep working on that energy?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, Andrea, that is a good question.
Oh, was Andrea in one of our lifetimes? Okay, so there's
and
the Highlands.
It's really coming.
There's the nuns.
It should come from you, and then what energy you pick up, and where do you feel familiarity with us? Because I would say yes.
Oh, that's cool.
I do say yes.
Well, maybe by the next show, Andrea, you'll have
Kristen,
a feeling or a
doing
thought.
Really good. That's why you're exhausted. You're working on everything, especially in dream time. So tell yourself before you fall asleep that you want to be able to be nurtured and maybe cocooned a little bit so that you can have the energy to deal with everything that you're going through in life right now. Yeah.
That's amazing.
You're doing really good, even though you may not feel that you are.
It's amazing. One of the things that we've learned from Angus through Vera is that not only are we cocooned on the other side, but we can be cocooned while we're in life. And so being cocooned is like, I'm going to show you right now, actually. There's this angel I drew that wraps their wings around you. And it's sort of like if
I love that one. That's my favorite kind of.
Really?
Besides blessings.
So happy to hear that. Well, he wraps his wings around you. It's almost like being wrapped in warm gauze.
Because you didn't say, excuse me, you burped.
I did? Yeah. And you're enveloped in God's love. And it's almost like taking a rest. And when you wake up, you feel so much better. Yeah. And within this feeling, you're going to garner all the things that you need, whether it's, comfort and healing and positive energy, calming of the mind, all the different things that we need.
Exactly.
While we're in life. And so
do we have any about
a visual that you can use?
Affirmations did you guys have? Oh, I guess not.
Okay.
Aww. Purple light them when you're around them.
Yeah, let's put Andrea's comment up there so we can all see. So, Vera, do you want to share a story? Now, this is a really amazing example of how you can visualize energy, and it you can physically feel it. I mean, it does help the situation. It's like prayer, and you can visualize and send intentional energy, whether it's good or bad. But of course, we focus on the positive, right? And what Vera was just saying, the purple light, you can envelop somebody's mind so that it's going to be positive conversations and positive interactions and thoughts, not just for that person, but even for ourselves or for others that are going to be at say a family function or what have you. So that's a good way to handle that.
Because, in a past life, they may have been very negative. And even in this lifetime, if they're not that way because they're trying to make up for what they did back then, you still get that, I don't know why, you're being nice to me and everything, but I still don't like you.
Wow.
That's why you get that feeling. But then you have to realize that we're not all the same every lifetime. And that's challenging because you feel that. You can feel that, sense that there's this core thing. So I always say go with your feelings, and the other person will have to prove by their actions that they've changed than how you feel about them.
Good point.
Yeah, because I have a lot of clients that they have situations with their parents or a loved one, and the past life or the current life is very difficult, very challenging, really actually quite horrible. And then they get a message from the other side, from that parent or from that loved one, and it's loving and kind.
Right.
And it's like, ugh, I don't want to hear from them. I've said that about my grandma Jagoda.
Right.
And it's not it's not fair, but we're human.
Right.
You know, we have feelings.
Right.
So, but on the other side, they understand what they did and why they did it, and they understand you and what you're going through and what you're feeling now.
Yeah.
You know, so they're just trying to send love to you, and you can either accept it or not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But on the other side, we truly understand why we did what we did.
Right. And we understand why others do what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a very good affirmation, Lori. My affirmation is keep getting things done, to use my energy wisely. Thanks, Chrissy. And not make so many mistakes. Mistakes are lessons, though, to keep things flow into place for me. Perfect. That's a nice one.
That's good. And you know what I like doing? I like doing these little affirmations on sticky notes. I used to put them on my bathroom mirror.
Oh, that's awesome. That was true, Nana.
Okay, let's see.
Well, you don't have to, Andrea, you don't have to accept the change for the other person. You're not in charge of their actions or anything, but it's how you deal with them is, you know.
Right.
Yeah. You can only deal with how you feel and change that, or, you know, keep the feelings that you had before.
Yeah. It helps us.
You don't have to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do what's right for your soul.
Yeah. Because I mean, sometimes there are certain things that happen in our life that are unforgivable, and it's hard for us to forgive.
Right.
But in that situation, if we can't forgive, we can give
it to Asna.
Yeah, we can give it to God.
Yeah.
And the other thing is to not look at it as like giving them so much importance, you know, the other person.
Or to minimize what you went through. That's not what it's about.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But it's almost like making them less important by ignoring them in a sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's Mother God.
Yeah.
Yes, that's giving it to Asna. Exactly.
Yeah. And she comes in many different visages.
Yes.
And Chrissy's working on that.
Yes. That's just one. So, yeah.
That's interesting.
What's
Kristen?
that?
I feel like I should know who I am if I can't know who I was. Heavy duty.
Yeah.
We should all know who we are, but sometimes we just don't figure it out until later. Sometimes people figure it out right. These young kids that are coming in, oh my lordy. They've got it from 2 years old to 3. You know, they've started it from the very beginning, where we had all this time in my old-fashioned days.
It took us a while to get there. Exactly.
Because I grew up with children were seen but not heard.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so dumb.
I know. Okay.
Oh, that's very nice, Purple Blaze.
You are a fast reader. Okay, hold on now. All right.
Oh, that's cool,
wow.
Andrea.
That's
cool.
really neat.
Yeah.
Let's see what Andrea
She saw
says.
her angel in her bathroom.
Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing? What angel it was.
What angel do you think it is?
And you know what's interesting about that too is that sometimes what we're thinking about can give us a clue.
Yeah.
What we need at the time, whether it's physical healing or we need a message about which way to go.
Right.
So it kind of depends on what we're focusing on, because you will get messages, and it's amazing that you were able to see your angel. Nana saying, I keep seeing 1111.
Yeah, we all see different stuff. I was doing mine is 111 or 444. You know, I never see 888. That was a joke.
All righty, Vera. Was there anything else that we wanted to share? You already talked about the moon energy. Oh, Andrea, you're welcome. Thanks for being here.
111 is new beginnings, Nana.
222 and 888. Oh, Purple Blaze says.
Yeah. We have to look. Oh, you see 888? I don't ever see 888.
Me neither.
I see a lot of 4s because it adds up to 8 or 12 or whatever. Yeah. Very
Oh,
nice.
Cool. Well, we're looking forward to next week. We hope you're able to join us. We are going to be talking about, Andrea's saying 444.
Yay.
I love fours. Well, then again, life path, right? Next week is The Haunting of the Alamo. So it's going to be a paranormal show.
Ooh.
And a possessed doll. So, yeah,
Mm.
an actual possessed doll. So, this is going to be a lot of very interesting insight coming up for next week. Now, was there anything else that you wanted to share about the energy right now with the moon?
Just go with the flow.
All right. And think of your affirmation, like Vera said, and put it on a sticky and put it somewhere that you can see it, because every time you see it, just like a crystal or just like the angel art, every time you see it, it's going to be it's going to be like a visual affirmation of that
and
energy.
a physical one too, because
So
they're actually seeing it.
Exactly. All right. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us
And Chrissy,
bringing your light and journey with us.
Yay!